Utah's #1 news channel. This is KUTV 2 News at 5.
He's a father, a brother, and a husband.
A UTA worker missing for a week found dead in Wyoming.
Salt of the earth, humble but honest, and so devoted to his family.
Now investigators are looking into whether or not 2 accused kidnappers from Centerville are connected to his death. Good evening. Glad you're with us tonight for 2 News at 5 o'clock. Kay Ricks was last seen Wednesday in Salt Lake City. Yesterday, his body was found in Lincoln County, Wyoming.
Tonight we have team coverage of the homicide investigation that is now underway. Chris Miller with a timeline of the events leading up to the death. Heidi Hatch has a reaction from the Ricks family tonight on the news today. And of course, Dan Rascon was with UTA earlier today as well.
We want to begin tonight with Jeremy Harris, who's live in Sublette County, Wyoming, where search crews are looking for Rick's missing truck. Jeremy, what's the latest from there?
Yeah, and Mark and Shannon, their search has now centered around Half Moon Lake, which is here in the northern portion of Sublette County. Authorities say this is very near where their suspect, Derek Harrison, was captured last Saturday. They say they have gone through this area. They are now looking for any evidence that might link these 2 suspects with the death of UTA worker Kay Ricks.
It could be the link that ties them to Ricks's disappearance.
Investigators combed through the woods near Half Moon Lake searching for any clue about where Flint Harrison and his son DJ may have been hiding while on the run from law enforcement.
We're looking for the weapons that were reported to be in Derek Harrison's possession prior to his arrest on Saturday night.
The crews are also searching for any sign of this missing Utah Transit Authority work truck, which may tie the manhunt for the alleged kidnappers with the homicide of UTA worker Kay Ricks.
When they made it here to Pinedale, they've been very vague about how they got up here, what means they used to get into the area.
That truck was last reported spotted here along a road near the town of Kemmerer, Wyoming, just miles away from where authorities found Rick's body.
Believed that UTA truck had at some point gone through his town and was able to confirm that happened.
Lincoln County Sheriff's deputies guarded the scene near where the body was found as investigators confirmed the identity of Kay Ricks. Meanwhile, no official connection has been made, but police from Utah and Wyoming say they are actively investigating the possibility that DJ and Flint were somehow involved in Rick's disappearance and death.
It's been such a bizarre case from the very beginning. We hate to rule anything out right off the bat.
And right now, DJ and Flint Harrison both remain here in the Sublette County Jail. We are told they are not being very cooperative with investigators, and at least Derek is being represented now by the public defender here in this county. Now, since this obviously could potentially span across several different jurisdictions, there are a lot of agencies here helping out. The FBI, the Division of Criminal Investigations from the state of Wyoming, as well as authorities from Utah. We are told that right now there is a dive team from the Utah Department of Public Safety that is making its way here to Half Moon Lake and also to an adjacent lake called Fremont Lake. They are expected to go through and search the lake bottoms to see if that truck is in there. They say that is a possibility and something they will be looking into this afternoon. Mark and Shauna, back to you.
All right, Jeremy, thank you very much.
Well, a day of sorrow for the Utah Transit Authority. They are remembering one of their employees.
Kay Ricks' murder is believed to be the first of its kind in the transit business across the nation.
Dan Rascon was with UTA earlier today. There was a news conference, Dan, and he joins us live right now. And Dan, what are they saying? What is UTA saying tonight about this discovery of Mr. Rick's body?
Yeah, Mark and Shauna, you can only imagine the mood here at UTA headquarters, but they said they've lost a dedicated, a hardworking, a kind, a gentle man who was always willing to help whoever was in need. They say right now they have 4 officers over in Wyoming that plan to bring his body back to Utah tonight.
It's with deep sympathy and a heavy heart that I bring to you that the body has been identified.
UTA's top officer officially confirming that the body found in Wyoming is indeed their employee, 63-year-old Kay Ricks.
We feel very deeply for the family. This is a very traumatic event for everyone.
The UTA maintenance worker was last seen here at the 1300 South track station last Thursday evening. Later that night, his Ford work truck was spotted in Wyoming through surveillance video. It's the same route believed to be taken by the Centerville kidnapping suspects into Wyoming. That's why investigators believe the 2 may be connected.
I can't say that they are, but one would lead to think that they are. But the investigation will only tell us that. And we are taking this investigation very slowly, very methodically. There will be no stone unturned in this investigation.
Chief Fred Ross says Rick's body will be escorted back to Utah Wednesday night. The search for his truck continues.
Unfortunately, that truck has not turned up, but we will find the truck, I assure you.
Ricks is one of 2,400 employees at UTA and the first, as far as anyone can recall, to be taken and murdered while on the job.
This is probably one of the first in the nation where this type of a deduction and murder has taken place.
Now, according to the chief, the autopsy will actually take place here in Utah, but will be done by the coroner from Wyoming. They say apparently the facilities are better here, better equipped, so they are bringing the body back tonight. Mark and Shauna, back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. K. Rick's family has some closure, but obviously not the closure they were seeking. For 6 days, the American Fork family held out hope that he would be found.
Now, they received the devastating news of his death, now ruled a murder, a homicide. They received that news last night.
Heidi Hatch is live now with more from family and friends still reeling from this loss. Heidi?
Well, Sean, last night, fairly late last night, people who love the Ricks family came up here to Salt Lake City and they tied yellow ribbons along the tracks line where he disappeared last Thursday. At this same time last night, there was still hope alive that he would be found well.
We hoped that Kay would come home and hug his grandkids and kiss his wife as he did the day he walked out the door.
Reality hit late last night when family friend Richard Massey was tasked with calling Kay's wife of 42 years with the devastating news of her husband's death.
I hope that I never again in my life have to make a telephone call like that.
Rick's boots and Levi's were identified by the searcher who found his body off a remote road in Wyoming Tuesday night.
They're doing as best as could be expected in this circumstance.
The 63-year-old leaves behind 3 children, 6 grandchildren, and his wife Lori.
She's, of course, the one offering comfort. She's the one comforting others in these tragic circumstances.
The family's neighborhood is adorned in yellow ribbons today, tied in hopes of his safe return.
You'll see yellow ribbons that have been placed on mailboxes and light posts. We have no idea who did that. No one has taken credit for that.
Today, they bring comfort to a grieving family.
They are most sincere in their gratitude and want to know that they are sincerely grateful for everything that everyone has done.
For now, the family is not focusing on how or why Kay died.
They're not angry with anyone. They're not mad at anyone. They don't want revenge on anybody. They are just trying to stay together as a family and support each other.
The Ricks family believes they'll be together again someday and ask the community for now to love each other and serve one another.
We hope that through tragedy, something is learned, something is gained, communities and families are strengthened, and that faith is built.
The Ricks family amazingly is thinking beyond themselves tonight. They say they are not a family out there in our community that is grieving. They say there are also other families out there waiting for someone missing in their life to come home. They say if you know someone like that, reach out to them, serve them instead of family, because they have plenty of people loving them right now. If you would like to help this family, though, a Wells Fargo account has been opened in Kay Rick's name. Again, at any Wells Fargo bank, you can.
All right, we did lose Heidi's audio there, but it is at Wells Fargo Bank. We'll have that information on our website, KUTV.com, if you'd like to help out the family and reach out tonight. Now, this all started with a horrifying incident last week in Davis County, a small community.
One family is traumatized, another family is grieving, and 2 suspects are in custody. Chris Miller with more on how this all played out over the course of 7 days and across 2 states. Chris?
Guys, it all started here at this Centerville home last Tuesday, where a mother and her 4 teenage daughters were lured into the basement of this home, and they were bound and attacked.
It just so loud. They were trying to, they had a gun and they tied us up in the basement. They were trying to beat us with a bat. My mom's eyes bleeding.
Dispatchers receive a terrifying 911 call.
We were dispatched on a very frightening and difficult to understand crime.
Police arrive finding an injured mother and her 4 teenage daughters, but the suspects had fled.
Arrest warrants for both Derek James Harrison and Flint Wayne Harrison.
The getaway vehicle, a silver Suburban, was found Wednesday on a mountainside above Farmington.
They know they're wanted. That can be dangerous. Who knows what they're going to do in order to stay free.
Authorities learned the Harrisons stayed at this South Salt Lake motel Wednesday night. On Thursday, 63-year-old Kay Ricks, a UTA maintenance worker, went missing in South Salt Lake, along with his F-150 service truck.
We're pulling out all resources to locate this individual.
The search for the Harrisons and the missing truck expanded to Pinedale, Wyoming, where the Harrisons have family ties. And Saturday, a break.
Flint Harrison showed up at the Sublette County Detention Center and turned himself in on those warrants that were issued from Utah.
He also gave up the location where his son was hiding out. That night, Derek was also taken into custody.
We're missing a truck. We don't have anything to suggest that they're connected. However, we want to cover every basis that we possibly can.
Tuesday night, 1 week after it all began, the body of Kay Ricks was discovered in a rural area of Wyoming, halfway between Salt Lake City and Pinedale.
Very traumatic for all of us.
Well, we learned this week that the Harrisons won't fight extradition back to Utah. They will stand trial back here for what happened at this house in Centerville, maybe more. Mark and Shauna, back to you.
And I would think that crime in Wyoming, if it indeed was committed by them, might take precedent. They may have to stay there and face even more serious charges there. And it also makes you wonder too, Chris, if these people were able to do that to him, the daughters and the mother, they were very lucky to get out of their situation alive as well, I'm sure.
Absolutely. It certainly makes you wonder that, and we will have to see what their fate is, whether it's to stay in Wyoming or back to Utah. But last we heard, they were preparing for extradition back here.
Yeah, more to come on this story, obviously.
Sure.
Chris, thank you very much.